The day I received my guaranteed admission notice, the proctor found my cheat note on the spot. The whole class was in an uproar, reporters gathered to watch, and the police arrived, but they didn't know that I had already seen through this scheme long ago. Jiang Qingya, 730 points, first in the grade. The teacher's excited voice echoed through the classroom, and the students broke into enthusiastic applause. I calmly stood up from my seat, ready to go up on stage to receive the award. Just then, a clear voice rang out, "Teacher, I'm reporting her. Jiang Qingya cheated." The whole class fell silent in an instant, and everyone's gaze turned to the speaker, the new transfer student, Lin Shiyu. She wore an expression of righteous indignation, yet in her eyes flickered the viciousness I knew all too well. "What did you say?" The teacher frowned. Lin Shiyu stood up, her voice trembling. "I saw with my own eyes that she brought cheat sheets into the exam room. This exam is unfair." The classmates began whispering among themselves, and I watched all of this with a cold eye. "Interesting. I've seen this script before. Shiyu, you need evidence when you speak." Su Zixuan, who was sitting beside me, said with a frown. He was my childhood friend, my childhood sweetheart, and also the person Lin Shiyu secretly had a crush on. "I have evidence," Lin Shiyu said excitedly. "I saw her take a note out of her backpack, and..." Her voice suddenly grew softer. "I think there must be something wrong, since her grades are always so good." I laughed. "This reason is truly refreshingly unconventional." "Class, quiet." The teacher tapped the desk. "Lin Shiyu, if you don't have conclusive evidence, casually accusing a classmate comes with consequences." "I'm not falsely accusing her." Lin Shiyu's eyes turned red, and her pitiful expression moved quite a few of the boys. "Teacher, I know Jiang Qingya's family is rich and powerful, but is cheating like this really fair? What about us ordinary students?" As soon as she said that, the atmosphere in the classroom changed instantly. Several students began to whisper among themselves, "Yeah, Jiang Qingya's family is so rich. Could it really be that? I knew there was a reason she always gets first place, so that's how it is." Lin Shiyu is right. This isn't fair to us. Su Zixuan's expression darkened. "Enough. What gives you the right to talk about Qingya like that, Brother Zixuan? I know you're protecting her, but..." Lin Shiyu looked at him with tear-filled eyes. "I really saw it. I watched this farce and sneered inwardly." Lin Shiyu was trying to kill two birds with one stone, smearing my reputation while also winning favor with Su Zixuan. Unfortunately, she didn't know I had already been prepared. "Since you say I cheated, then let's let the facts speak for themselves," I said calmly. "Teacher, I request access to the exam hall surveillance footage." Lin Shiyu's face instantly turned pale. Are you trying to destroy the evidence?" "Destroy evidence?" I raised an eyebrow. "The surveillance footage belongs to the school. How am I supposed to destroy it? Or are you feeling guilty?" "Why would I feel guilty?" Lin Shiyu said, forcing herself to stay calm. "I didn't do anything wrong." The teacher thought for a moment. "All right, I'll apply to have the surveillance footage retrieved right away. Everyone go back to the classroom and wait for news." Just as the teacher was about to leave, there was suddenly a commotion outside the door. Several people in uniforms walked in, led by a middle-aged police officer. "Which one of you is student Jiang Qingya?" the police officer asked. I stood up. "I am. Someone has reported that you cheated on the college entrance exam. Please come with us." The whole class was stunned, and Lin Shiyu looked even more shocked. "The police? How could this be?" I knew in my heart that this was absolutely no accident. Someone was pulling the strings behind all this, trying to completely destroy me. "Officer, may I ask who made the report?" I asked calmly. "Well," the police officer glanced at the documents in his hand. "The reporter said they saw you bring cheating tools into the exam room, and there is conclusive evidence." "What evidence?" Su Zixuan asked hurriedly. At that moment, a familiar figure appeared at the door. Zhao Meili, Lin Shiyu's stepmother. She held an envelope in her hand, looking triumphant. "The evidence is right here." She took several photos out of the envelope. They clearly showed me outside the exam hall taking a small slip of paper out of my bag. "My daughter Shiyu took these," Zhao Meili said. She didn't want to report it at first, but when she thought about how unfair this would be to the other students, she finally summoned the courage to speak up. Lin Shiyu lowered her head, looking as if she had been forced into it. I just thought competition should be fair." As soon as the photo was released, the whole class completely exploded. "Oh my God, she really cheated. Jiang Qingya usually seems pretty upright. I never expected. Rich people are just different. Even cheating is so brazen." Su Zixuan's face turned dark and livid. "Impossible. Qingya would never cheat." "Zixuan," the photos are right here. Are you still going to protect her? A hint of satisfaction flashed in Lin Shiyu's eyes, but she quickly put on a wronged expression. The police officer looked at the photos. Classmate Jiang Qingya, do you have any explanation for this? I took the photos and examined them carefully, and in my heart I had already understood the whole outline of the scheme. This photo really is me, but this photo has a problem, I said calmly. What problem? The police officer asked. The time. I pointed to the timestamp on the photo. This photo shows it was taken at 8:45 a.m., but our exam started at 9:00. At 8:45, I was still in the classroom studying. Lin Shiyu's expression changed slightly. Maybe the time is inaccurate. Is the time inaccurate? I laughed. Then we can pull up the school surveillance footage and compare the times. Zhao Meili hurriedly said. Surveillance footage can be faked, but photos can't. You're right, I nodded. So I suggest the officer conduct a direct body search. If I really cheated, there would definitely be other evidence on me. As soon as I said that, Lin Shiyu and Zhao Meili both froze. They clearly hadn't expected me to voluntarily request a body search. The police nodded. All right, then let's proceed with a body search now. Wait, Lin Shiyu suddenly shouted. I just remembered. She may have already gotten rid of it. Gotten rid of it? I looked at her with a faint smile. Then we should search her even more thoroughly and see whether I still have any other evidence on me. The body search began quickly. The police carefully checked my clothes and backpack, and even my shoes were not spared. As expected, nothing was found. No cheating tool was found. The police announced the result. Lin Shiyu's face turned pale. How could that be? I clearly saw. What did you see? I looked at her coldly. Or are you saying you've been lying from the start? I'm not lying. Lin Shiyu was so anxious that tears welled up in her eyes. I really saw it. At this moment, the teacher walked in holding a document. I just want to confirm it. Jiang Qingya received her direct admission qualification to Peking University half a month ago, so she doesn't need to take the college entrance exam at all. The whole class erupted in uproar once again. Direct admission. The students looked at each other in confusion. If she's already been admitted, why did she still take the mock exam? Someone asked. I said calmly, because I want to know my true level. Besides, I also want to see how certain people will perform. Lin Shiyu panicked completely. Impossible. How could you possibly get in through recommendation? Why not? I took out my phone and pulled up the electronic version of Peking University's admission notice. This is the confirmation letter Peking University sent me. It has detailed admission information on it. Seeing the admission notice, everyone fell silent. A student already guaranteed admission to Peking University really had no need to cheat. The police officer looked at the notice, then at the photo. There's obviously something wrong with this report. Jiang, you can file a counter-complaint against malicious false reporting. I will. I looked at Lin Shiyu, and I suspect this photo is doctored. You're slandering me, Zhao Meili said hurriedly. Whether I'm slandering you or not, we'll know after an appraisal. I sneered. I've already commissioned a professional agency to conduct a technical analysis of this photo. I believe the results will be out soon. Lin Shiyu's expression grew increasingly ugly. She knew her plan had completely failed. At this moment, Su Zixuan walked over to me. Qingya, I believe you. I looked at him, and a warm current surged through my heart, but soon, I remembered something else. In the original storyline, Su Zixuan would ultimately be moved by Lin Shiyu's genuine feelings, betray me, and choose her instead. If that was the case, why should I care about his attitude? Thank you, I said lightly, but the most important thing now is to find out the truth. The police packed up their things. We will further investigate this case. If we find that the report was made maliciously, we will handle it according to the law. After the police left, the atmosphere in the classroom grew unusually heavy. The looks the classmates gave Lin Shiyu were full of doubt. Shiyu, why did you do that? A classmate asked. Lin Shiyu bit her lip, her eyes full of unwillingness. I just wanted fair competition. Fair competition? I sneered, using fake photos to frame a classmate. Is that your idea of fairness? I didn't fake anything. Lin Shiyu screamed hysterically. Why are you better than me? Why do you get to be recommended for admission to Peking University? How am I any worse than you? Her words fully exposed the jealousy in her heart. Her classmates looked at her, their eyes filled with disappointment. So that's how it is, someone said. To harm someone out of jealousy is too terrible. I thought she just had a strong sense of justice, but I didn't expect she had ulterior motives. Faced with everyone's accusations, Lin Shiyu completely broke down. She cried and ran out of the classroom, and Zhao Meili hurried after her. Su Zixuan looked at me. Qingya, are you okay? I'm fine. I packed up my school bag. You, on the other hand, should be a little more careful about who you make friends with in the future. After saying that, I walked out of the classroom without looking back. I knew this was only the beginning. Lin Xiyu wouldn't let it end there. She would have other tricks up her sleeve, but I was already prepared. Since she wanted to play, I would play along with her to the very end. As I walked out of the school gate, I got a call from my father. Qingya, I heard something happen at school. It's nothing serious. It's already been taken care of. I briefly explained the situation. Good, you did the right thing. My father's voice was steady. Some people just can't stand seeing others do well, but you need to be careful. People like that usually won't let it go so easily. I know. After hanging up, I looked at the sky as the sun was setting, and a new plan had already formed in my mind. Lin Xiyu wanted to destroy me, but she didn't know that I still had more leverage over her. Next, it was my turn to make a move. Early the next morning, as soon as I arrived in the classroom, I sensed something strange in the air. My classmates were looking at me with complicated expressions, curiosity, sympathy, and even distance. Lin Xiyu sat in the corner, her eyes swollen and red, obviously having cried all night. When she saw me come in, she quickly lowered her head. Qingya, Su Zixuan stood up from his seat. Are you okay? I'm fine, I replied lightly, walking toward my seat. Just then, our homeroom teacher, Mr. Li, walked in, his expression serious. Class, I have something to say about what happened yesterday. The classroom instantly fell silent. After the school's investigation, it has been confirmed that Jiang Qingya indeed has already received a direct admission qualification from Peking University. So there is no possibility of cheating. Teacher Li glanced at Lin Xiyu. As for the so-called evidence photo, technical analysis has confirmed that it was indeed fabricated. The whole class was in an uproar. Synthetic, so that means Lin Xiyu was really lying. That's too much. She actually fabricated evidence just to hurt someone. Lin Xiyu's face turned as pale as paper, and she stood up trembling. Teacher, I didn't know the photos were fake. It must be my stepmother. Enough. Teacher Li interrupted her. No matter who did it, as the person who reported it, you must bear the corresponding responsibility. Teacher, I really didn't know. Lin Xiyu burst into tears. At that moment, Su Zixuan suddenly stood up. Teacher, Xiyu may really not have known. After all, the photos were brought out by her stepmother. I turned to look at him, sneering inwardly. Sure enough, he had started speaking up for Lin Xiyu. Zixuan is right, another male classmate said as he stood up as well. Xiyu is usually pretty nice. Maybe she really was being used by someone. Exactly, she looks so innocent. She probably wouldn't hurt anyone on purpose. I listened quietly to all these excuses being made for Lin Xiyu, and my heart grew colder and colder. This is the power of the White Lotus. Clearly she did something wrong, yet there are always people defending her. Classmates, I stood up. I want to say a few words. The classroom fell silent again. First of all, whether the photo was composited by Lin Xiyu herself, I don't want to jump to conclusions. But, my voice turned stern. The matter of falsely accusing a classmate of cheating was indeed done by her. Qingya, you, Su Zixuan tried to interrupt me. Let me finish. I looked at him. No matter who made the photo, it was she who personally accused me of cheating. If she were truly innocent, why wouldn't she find out what happened first instead of rushing to condemn me? Lin Xiyu cried even harder. I thought, what did you think? I looked at her coldly. You thought that because my family is wealthy, I must have cheated. You thought you could ruin me with just your one-sided words. I didn't think that. Is there none? I took out my phone, opened an audio recording. Then how do you explain this? Lin Xiyu's voice came through the recording. A kid from a rich family like Jiang Qingya, with such good grades, there must be something fishy. I have to expose her and let everyone see her true colors. The whole class was shocked. When was this recorded? Someone asked. At noon yesterday, I said calmly. I happened to pass by when Lin Xiyu was making a phone call in the restroom. Lin Xiyu's face turned deathly pale. You eavesdropped on my phone call. Not eavesdropped. Just happened to hear it. I looked at her, and I thought it was necessary to keep the evidence. As it turns out, my decision was right. Su Zixuan looked at Lin Xiyu, his eyes full of disappointment. Xiyu, why did you do that? I just... Lin Xiyu was at a loss for words. Teacher Li shook his head. Lin Xiyu, your behavior has already constituted malicious false accusation. The school will give you the corresponding punishment. Teacher, I know I was wrong. Please give me one chance. Lin Shiyu knelt down. Seeing her kneel, several boys in the class began to soften again. Teacher, she knows she was wrong, so please forgive her this once. Yeah, she's still just a child. Watching this scene, my heart went completely cold. Even with the evidence right there were still people speaking up for her. That's the terrifying thing about a White Lotus. Classmates, I stood up again. I want to ask everyone a question. If the person falsely accused today weren't me, but any one of you, would you still forgive her so easily? The classroom fell into silence. What does the accusation of cheating mean to a student? Everyone knows that, if it weren't for the fact that I had a recommended admission qualification, if it weren't for the evidence I prepared in advance, the one whose future would have been ruined now would be me. I looked at the classmates pleading on Lin Shiyu's behalf. Do you think such malicious harm can be offset by a simple, I know I was wrong? Su Zixuan frowned. Qingya, don't be too nitpicky. Shiyu already knows she was wrong. Nitpicky? I let out a cold laugh. If she had succeeded, I'd probably already have been torn apart by online abuse. Su Zixuan, do you think this is a minor matter? I didn't mean that. That's exactly what you meant. I cut him off. In your heart, her tears are more important than my reputation. After saying that, I packed up my things and walked toward the door. Qingya, where are you going? Su Zixuan chased after me. Call the police, I said without turning around. Malicious false accusations are a criminal offense. I will hold her legally responsible. What? Su Zixuan grabbed my arm. Qingya, don't do this. She's still a student. I shook off his hand. I'm also a student. Why didn't you say she was still a student when she was hurting me? Su Zixuan was at a loss for words. Su Zixuan, I looked at him. I thought we grew up together, and you would be on my side. I didn't expect you to be bought off so quickly. I wasn't bought off. I just think, you think she's pitiful. I sneered. Can pitiful people just hurt others as they please? After saying that, I really walked out of the classroom. From behind came Lin Shiyu's crying voice. Brother Zixuan, I really know I was wrong. Please help me persuade Sister Qingya. Hearing that voice, I felt a wave of disgust rise in my heart. Sister, was she even worthy of that? When I reached the bottom of the teaching building, I took out my phone and dialed a number. Hello, Lawyer Zhang, this is Jiang Qingya. Yes, I need your help. After hanging up the phone, I looked at the classroom upstairs, and a complete plan had already formed in my mind. If Lin Shiyu wanted to play, I would play along, but this time, I would make her pay a real price. Just as I was thinking, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Hello, may I ask if this is Jiang Qingya? I'm Wang Xiaoman, a reporter from the city TV station. We'd like to do an exclusive interview about you being maliciously framed. A glint flashed in my eyes. It seemed some people were more anxious than I was. Okay, I'd be very happy to be interviewed. After hanging up the phone, a cold smile curved at the corners of my mouth. Lin Shiyu, do you think everything will be fine? Once you ruin me, now, it's your turn to experience what it's like to be the center of attention in the whole city. I took out my phone and sent my father a text message. Dad, help me contact a few media outlets. I want to hold a press conference soon. My father texted back. It's all set. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the municipal government press room. Satisfied, I put my phone away. This time, I was going to make everyone see clearly who the real victim was. As for Lin Shiyu, she'd better be ready to face the judgment of public opinion. From the classroom upstairs, faint sounds of an argument drifted down. I knew the students were definitely debating this matter fiercely right now. Some would sympathize with Lin Shiyu, while others would support me, but soon, the balance would tilt completely, because I still had more trump cards that I had yet to reveal. The next afternoon, the municipal government press conference hall was packed with people. I sat on the rostrum, facing dozens of reporters below, and felt surprisingly calm. Dear members of the media, thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend this press conference. I looked at the reporters below the stage, my voice clear and forceful. Today, what I want to clarify is the matter of my being maliciously framed for cheating. The reporters below raised their voice recorders and cameras one after another. First, I want to state that I have never cheated in any exam. Second, my classmate Lin Shiyu, who framed me, has already committed malicious defamation, causing serious harm to my reputation. A female reporter raised her hand. Student Jiang, according to what we know, you have already secured an admission offer to Peking University without taking the entrance exam. Why would Lin Shiyu still frame you for cheating? You should ask her that question, I replied calmly, but I can tell everyone that, even before this, she had repeatedly questioned my achievements in public and believed that because I came from a well-off family. There must be something wrong with me, another reporter asked. Do you have proof? I took out my phone and played yesterday's recording. Lin Shiyu's vicious words echoed through the press room, and the reporters all looked shocked. From this recording, it's clear that Lin Shiyu's malice toward me was premeditated. She wasn't acting on impulse. She had long planned to ruin me. So, about that so-called evidence photo. After evaluation by a professional institution, that photo was indeed fabricated. I took out the assessment report, and the compositing technique isn't sophisticated. It clearly bears signs of malicious fabrication. The reporters below the stage began discussing it heatedly. At this point, a young male reporter stood up. Student Jiang, from what we understand, both you and Lin Shiyu, who framed you, like the same boy, is this a retaliatory incident caused by a romantic dispute? I looked at him, sneering inwardly. Sure enough, someone was trying to steer this matter toward a relationship gossip angle. Sir, I think your question is very interesting. I smiled slightly. What you mean is that because of a romantic dispute, someone can maliciously frame others. That's not what I mean. Then what are you trying to say? I cut him off. If there really was any so-called romantic dispute, that only further proves Lin Shiyu's actions were premeditated retaliation. Oughtn't such malicious harm incur legal punishment? The audience fell silent, and also I continued, I want to correct a misconception. No matter the reason, maliciously framing someone is a criminal act. Just because it involves feelings doesn't mean the standard for determining illegal behavior should be lowered. An experienced female reporter nodded. Student Jiang is right. So, how do you plan to handle this matter? I have already retained a lawyer to file a lawsuit, demanding that Lin Shiyu issue a public apology and bear the corresponding legal responsibility. I looked into the camera. I hope this incident can tell everyone that the cost of malicious false accusations is severe. After the press conference ended, I received a call from my mother. Qingya, you did very well. There was relief in my mother's voice. Mom supports you. Thank you, Mom. However, my mother's tone turned serious. You need to be careful. This matter may have follow-up repercussions. I know. After hanging up, I looked at the flood of messages pouring in on my phone. The video of the press conference had already gone viral online, and the comments section was filled with voices supporting me, but I knew this was only the beginning. Sure enough, that very night, voices began appearing online defending Lin Shiyu. Some self-media accounts started posting articles saying that I was a child from a rich family using my resources to suppress an ordinary student. What's more, they even packaged the whole thing as a story of the powerful crushing the common people. As I looked at those articles, I sneered inwardly. It seemed someone really was pulling the strings behind the scenes. Early the next morning, as soon as I got to school, I realized something was off. My classmates were looking at me with even more complicated expressions, and some had even started avoiding me. Qingya, Su Zixuan walked over, his expression complicated. About yesterday's press conference, wasn't it a bit too much? Over, I looked at him. I'm just defending my own rights, but Shiyu is in a very difficult situation right now. Her family is blaming her, and her mother even hit her. So what? I asked coldly. I should soften my heart and withdraw the lawsuit against her. That's not what I meant. You mean exactly that? I interrupted him. Su Zixuan, when did you become so saintly? I just think that, as classmates, there's no need to go this far. I looked at him, completely disappointed. Then when she framed me, why didn't you tell her to think of our classmate bond? Su Zixuan was left speechless by my question. At this moment, Lin Shiyu ran over crying. Sister Qingya, please forgive me. I really know I was wrong. She dropped straight to her knees in front of me, drawing a wave of shocked gasps from the students watching nearby. Get up, I said coldly. I won't get up, Lin Shiyu cried, tears streaming down her face. Not unless you forgive me. The onlooking students began to murmur. Shiyu has already knelt down, and Jiang Qingya still won't forgive her. That's a bit too much, isn't it? She's already like this. Exactly. Why be so aggressive? I watched these remarks and a wave of anger surged in my heart. Lin Shiyu was putting on another performance, and these people had once again been deceived by her tears. Lin Shiyu, I looked down at her from above. Do you think kneeling can make up for your crimes? I just want your forgiveness. Forgiveness, I sneered. If I hadn't had evidence to prove my innocence yesterday, the one kneeling on the ground now should be me, right? I really didn't mean it. I took out my phone and played the recording again. This wasn't intentional either. Lin Shiyu's vicious words in the recording left all the surrounding students stunned. Those who had just been sympathizing with her now didn't dare say a word. Lin Shiyu, let me give you some advice. I looked at her kneeling on the ground. Tears won't save you. Under the law, everyone is equal. After speaking, I walked around her and headed toward the classroom. Behind me came Lin Shiyu's crying and Su Zixuan's voice comforting her. I didn't look back, but my heart grew colder and colder. When I got to the classroom, I found several large words written on the blackboard. Jiang Qingya, a bully who abuses power. Looking at those words, I instead became calm. It seems someone is really in a hurry. I took out my phone, snapped a photo of the words on the blackboard, and sent it to the class group chat. Soon, homeroom teacher Mr. Lee rushed over. Who wrote this? Mr. Lee asked, his face dark with anger. No one answered. Good, Teacher Lee said coldly. Since no one is admitting it, then we'll check the surveillance footage. If you maliciously slander your classmates at school, I think you must not want to graduate. At this moment, a girl who usually got along well with Lin Shiyu stood up. Teacher, I wrote it. Why? Teacher Lee asked. I think Jiang Qingya went too far. Shiyu has already apologized, and she still wants to drive her to ruin. Shut up, Teacher Lee roared. What right do you have to judge your classmates? Lin Shiyu maliciously framed others. That is criminal behavior. Jiang Qingya is defending her rights according to the law. What's wrong with that? The girl who had been scolded lowered her head. And also, Teacher Lee looked at the whole class. I warn everyone. No one is allowed to gossip about this behind their backs. Whoever dares to maliciously smear a classmate again will be expelled on the spot. The classroom fell into complete silence. I sat in my seat, but I didn't feel the slightest sense of victory. I knew that although Teacher Lee supported me on the surface, many people would still sympathize with Lin Shiyu in private. That was the terrifying thing about a White Lotus. Even when she did something wrong, there would always be people making excuses for her, but I didn't care. What I wanted was not these people's understanding, but to make Lin Shiyu pay the price she deserved. At noon, I received a call from the lawyer, Miss Jiang. The other lawyer contacted me. Lin Shiyu wants to settle privately. What are the terms? A public apology, and 100,000 yuan in compensation for emotional distress. Not enough, I said coldly. In addition to a public apology and compensation, I want her to transfer schools. This, Attorney Zhang, I didn't pay you to convince me to settle. I interrupted him. If you think this is difficult, I can change lawyers. No, I understand what you mean. I'll pass it on to the other side. After hanging up the phone, I looked at the sunlight outside the window, and a firm resolve surged in my heart. Lin Shiyu wants to destroy me, then I'll let her taste what it feels like to be destroyed. This world has never been fair. Since she wants to play, I'll play with her to the end. 3 days later, an explosive piece of news spread across the internet. Lin Shiyu's stepmother, Zhao Meili, was exposed as a member of a certain fraud ring, specializing in fabricating false evidence to help people fight lawsuits. As soon as the news came out, the internet instantly exploded. Wow, so he's a habitual offender after all. So that photo really was fake. Jiang Qingya was really framed. The whole Lin Shiyu family are no good. I looked at the comments online and sneered inwardly. Of course, I was the one who leaked this news. If I wanted to completely defeat Lin Shiyu, I had to cut off all her escape routes. Sure enough, more explosive dirt was soon exposed. Someone dug up Lin Shiyu's dark history from her previous school, framing a classmate for dating too early, secretly altering report cards, bullying transfer students. Oh my god, this Lin Shiyu is practically a demon. I used to think she was the victim, but I never expected her to be a repeat offender. Jiang Qingya didn't pursue her legal responsibility, which was already merciful enough. The public opinion had completely reversed. That afternoon, I was